First, open any browser, type Raspberry Pi ISO, open the first link in the page, which is https://www.raspberrypi.com software. Click on Raspberry Pi OS, scroll down to the section, Raspberry Pi Desktop for PC and Mac. Click on Download Raspberry Pi Desktop. This will take us to an interface like this. Scroll down to Raspberry Pi Desktop. Click on Download. The ISO file is more than 3 GB, so this might take some time. I'll skip the waiting part and resume after it's downloaded. Now, let's create a virtual machine for Raspberry Pi OS Desktop. Open VirtualBox and click on the New button. In the pop-up, give your virtual machine a name. I'll call mine Raspbian Desktop, but you can name it whatever you like. Select the folder which you want. I'm going with the default one. Choose Linux as the machine type, and for the version, select Debian, 64-bit. Click Next. Here, you'll choose how much RAM to allocate. The default is 2 GB, but I recommend using more if possible. I'll allocate 4 GB since I have enough available. Click Next. VirtualBox will ask you to create a virtual hard disk. Go with the default option, create a virtual hard disk now. Set the hard disk size. I recommend at least 15 to 25 GB to avoid running out of space. I am using 20 GB. Click Next. Now you will see the summary of the configuration made to the new virtual machine. Click Finish. When clicking on Finish, the virtual hard disk will be created and the pop-up will shut down. You will see a new virtual machine on your list. Before we start the VM, let's tweak the settings for better performance. Select your virtual machine and click Settings. In the System tab, go to the Processor section. If your computer has multiple cores, allocate 2 to 4 cores to the VM for better speed. In the Storage tab, under Controller, ID, select the empty disk icon, and then click on the small disk icon on the right to choose your Raspberry Pi OS ISO that you downloaded earlier. Once done, click OK. Now start the virtual machine by clicking on Start. Select Graphical Install and hit Enter. If you don't press anything, it will automatically start in 10 seconds. Configure the keyboard. Here, I am going with American English. You'll be guided through a series of setup dialogues. In this Partition Disks section, choose Guided, use entire disk. For partitioning, select all files in one partition. Here, select Finish Partitioning and write changes to disk. For this section, write the changes to disk, select Yes. Now the installation starts. After partitioning, you'll be asked if you want to install the grub bootloader. Choose Yes. Install grub bootloader on dev/sda. Once this step is complete, the installation will finish, and you'll see the Installation Complete screen. Your virtual machine will reboot automatically after installation. The first time you boot up, you'll see a welcome screen. Click Next to complete the final configuration for your Raspberry Pi OS desktop. Then it asks for setting the country, language and time zone. Now it asks for creating a user. I am creating an user named Raspbian. Next step is to update the software. You can click Skip or Next. I clicked Next. It will download the updates and install them. This might take some time. After installing all updates, it shows that the system is up to date. The setup is complete. Click Restart. And that's it. You've successfully installed Raspberry Pi OS desktop on a virtual machine using VirtualBox.